Hello there, folks, and welcome to the stream. My name is Mike D'Angelo, aka that Tellest guy. We are back today making maps. It's been about a week, and we wrapped up the kind of first map of the set of Forgotten Keep South Wing maps that we were working on last week. Instead of doing a variant of that right away, I figured it would be fun to move on to the next map. So we are in Folly's Glen, which we did a little bit of work just to kind of get a basic concept of where we were going. So we're back here in full at this point. Really what we're going to be doing today is just kind of throwing together some trees to make it look a little bit more magical. Maybe we'll do a couple of the points of interest, things like that. And then depending on how bored I get with this map, we might swing into one of our other maps. We might return to the Forgotten Keep South. Why are you yelling at me so much? And if we do, we'll see what fun we can have there. So right away, you can see that in Folly's Glen, we have much more colorful trees. In the book that this comes from, Mageborn, we really didn't have things that were kind of like this outlandish, but I figured this is the palette that we have to work with. It would be fun to do that. So we have some basic things that we're going to be doing, which is the kind of like wavy water in the center of this area. So it's supposed to be a stream that runs between two trees with no real idea of where the water came from. We'll also do, if I can figure it out. Why are you yelling at me so much? If I can figure it out, if you're familiar with Princess Bride, there were in the forest where the ROUSs were, there were also like these bursts of flame that came up into the air, and that's kind of what we have here. And we have little we call them Luma bugs in the Tellest universe, but they're like rainbow colored lightning bugs that will kind of fly around that area for whatever reason, kind of like a moth to a flame, but they'll typically show up prior to the flame bursting and move on ahead of time. It's almost like they can time travel their brains ahead of where these things are. And then another part of the forest that Adelia went to was kind of swampy, so I figured this area up here would lead somewhere, and then down here would lead towards the swamp, and eventually there would be a cave over here where some of the action in that story took place. So let's we're gonna leave the water until a little bit later. I want to try and get like the forest mapped out first. So we have these kind of rainbowy trees that we've kind of established first, but I'm going to go to maybe something a little bit more commonplace. So let's go to, I think it's in the core. We'll just use some of these trees real quick. We'll do some regular pine trees and stuff like that too. So we're going to maybe put some basic trees here and there. I want these ones to kind of like hover over the pine trees and things like that. And let's do one that's coming out from there a little bit. I just realized, in case I do need sound, just make sure that that's there. Alright, so we've got our regular trees like that. Let's try and see if we can't get a coniferous tree. So we'll take it to about 15 after, and then we'll start our countdown for our commercials. Let's bring this down to 100. Just a regular tree, nothing too crazy there, but we'll also do maybe like a pretty big deciduous tree here and there. that one alone for now. Maybe a big old oak tree over here. Alright, let's do some more stuff from the Fae set. So let's get rid of the text there, and let's see what we got as far as like bushes and things like that. And eventually we're going to do some fallen logs and things like that. So we've got these autumn birch trees, these gold orb trees. Let's shake stuff up a little bit. I knew that I was going to put some phosphor bushes, but let's do maybe in a couple of these spots. Let's do... I'll put them underneath the other layers. Some pretty big ones. That one can be there. And let's go and get some orbs. Instead of doing the gold, we'll do the blue ones. Okay, and let's get some of those phosphor bushes as well. I hear a doggy barking. I hear several doggies barking. Alright, let's not do a teal one just about everywhere. Certain places is okay. Let's go to our other color. We'll do this bluish one. This one's got like a nice purple color, so I want to try and keep it away from the pink tree. Do something down there, and maybe one more over here. I kind of want to do one more purple one, so put that underneath that tree. And let's go to our red phosphor bushes, violet, and let's see. Same problem that we're running into now. I don't want to keep it too close to those things. Let's do one layer further down. You know what? I'm not a huge fan of that being so close to that tree. I want to leave enough area where the players don't think, hey, wait a minute, there's stuff, that's where it's leading into. No, it's not actually leading there. And let's see, this is kind of a strange color, so I'm trying to figure out a place for that to go, and I feel like maybe something like that there. Actually, let's scooch this stuff down. Okay, 39 changes is a decent amount. Let's do a save real quick. I'll tell you what, we'll go on our quick break in 1 minute. So we'll bring that. I need to reposition these. They don't make sense if my camera's on. Alright, so that's a good place for them to be. Let's grab some other stuff from the Fae if we can. I don't want to go too crazy with any of these carnivorous plants or anything like that, but maybe some of these quote-unquote frivolous forest floor plants we can put in here and there. Use it to kind of help our border out a little bit. I hear a stinky dog out there. Let's go up here and do maybe a couple more up this way. Ooh, that's a nice colored one that I don't feel like we've used too much. Throw it under there, and maybe one more over here. let's go to the next one. Oop, it is ad time. Let's see, turn that off and ad time. We'll see if it actually does anything. So nobody's going to be missing too much. I'm not going to be doing anything too crazy here. But I am going to be trying to figure out what else we can do. Snazz this up. I hear a little sniffer out there. Alright, we're not going to do anything with those buildings or anything. Let's do a fallen birch tree. Bring that up to 100. I feel like that's a regular color, so let's try and do something that's a little prettier there. Let's see. Let's dial it back a little bit, maybe to 70. We're going to have that up here. Scooch everything over, perhaps. Don't need you there anymore. Alright, don't need the lines anymore, so we can get rid of those. Rihanna says, I don't know if you can raise your volume on the mic at all, but I just connected to you, my extra speaker, and I'm still having a hard time hearing you. Definitely have to get you a better mic setup. The funny thing is, like, it's not quite the mic. Here, I've got the gain all the way up now. Can you hear me any better, Rihanna? I feel like it's not the mic because I can have the mic sounding loud through, like, Audacity. I think there's probably a setting in here that needs to change, but I don't know what it is yet. So I'm definitely going to have to practice some things and kind of see what pops and what works. It looks like I can see myself. Might be picking up the fan a little bit more. Let me see. I'll bump up the volume as well. So it's got the gain and the volume up now. Alright, Rihanna says, yeah, that's better. I feel like it's picking up the fan a little bit more, but I feel like that's okay for now. Alright, let's see what else we got. I would imagine that that's the minute and a half. Let's real quick go to our Quantum Quest preview ad. Now that our Twitch channel has reached affiliate status, we can start to do some really cool things. One of them is inviting you to play our tabletop dungeon diving game, Quantum Quest. Using our channel points, called Quest Coins, you can queue up for one of our forthcoming Tabletop Thursday games. In addition, as we amass more followers, we'll continue to add new ways for you to use your Quest Coins. Join us and see if you can escape the living dungeon. So one of the things that I was working on for Quantum Quest was obviously those Tabletop Thursdays that I just talked about in the ad. And I was showing off one of the things that I was working on earlier today. I don't have the mic over there yet, so I'm just going to real quick take little passes over at it, and then we'll come back to this map making process. But so we're trying to kind of zhuzh up the way that we're going to be demonstrating the Quantum Quest live games that we play on Thursdays, and I was just very impressed with the stuff that I was able to put together for like the player introductions and things like that. So we made use of some of our overlays and stuff along those lines, and I think that they look nice. The only one that I still need is like a water, liquid, ice element, and then all the four major elements are kind of represented, so we'll work on that, but still pretty happy with how it's all turning out. All right, I don't want to do any of these weird rocks. I don't feel like I want to do, well, here we'll do like one or two ferns, I guess. Keep these ones light as well. So let's do a blue one over here. Whoa, 30 feels a little tiny compared to these big ones. Let's do 50. I feel like I'm definitely going to have to do some blending as well, but we all know that comes later. Okay, and let's leave that one alone. I think I'm going to put a log over there. Let's see. All this shamrock stuff is more for houses and things like that, so let's do a log. We'll do a... We want to do a split log. I feel like that's okay. We'll do a split log. Let's dial that back down to 30. We might even have to make it smaller still. Is that the same size? Yeah, it's the same one. Alright, so let's do something along those lines. We'll have it right there. We don't really need to say tight forest anymore. I know what it is. Okay, and one of the things that I absolutely love to do is throw some mushrooms on these things. So let's see what we got here. So we've got these things in the Fey setup. Kind of works, kind of doesn't, but we'll see what I can make. What kind of magic I can make. So I'm trying to kind of give it like that boletus mushroom look, where it looks like it's growing on the log in some weird ways. But I want to try and make sure that it doesn't just look like it's floating. And one of the ways that you can kind of do that is by making it look like stairs almost. And right now it doesn't look like much outside of high def, but that's okay. It'll look better once we're further along and have this printed out and everything. Let's do some of the boletus ones over here, and what we'll end up doing is to help sell the fact that this is kind of like a magical space. Let's go into the hue and we'll change it to this kind of purpley color. Okay. Just kind of look like sweet potato chips at this point. Alright. That's it for that log. Let's actually get some other mushrooms in this place as well. And since we're doing this kind of stuff, let's keep working on making these look kind of magical. So again, we're going to go to our color advanced settings, and let's do kind of like a bluish one instead. These mushrooms are kind of big, so let's shrink them down a little bit. Instead of doing 30, let's do 20. Oop. I need you to be lower than that tree. And the same thing with you guys. You should be kind of obscured by the dark. Oh, I hear an ice cream man. Do I stop the stream? Is that one lower? Nope, it is not. So that bushes. There we go. It's got kind of a little tiny fairy ring there. We need to kind of put a little something there as well. I'll tell you what, let's do the blending first, and then we'll see what we need to put where. So let's head to the Fey, and we've mostly used this green Fey dirt, I feel like. And the way that I'm kind of picturing it is having it look similar to kind of the forest floor stuff that we have here. Let's see if we can't change the color here to make it look a little bit more in line with where we're going with things. So we'll change the hue to that. We'll change the size to not that size, this size to 30, and let's do maybe like a 40%, and then start to paint this in a little bit. And let's make sure that it's on the right thing. Alright, so it is the background. Yeah, I feel like that is definitely helping to look a little bit more in line with kind of the forest edge instead of open grass and dirt and stuff like that. It'll help to kind of establish our perimeter for the forest. Rihanna says, the color palette on that section reminds me of How to Be a Wizard. You know what? It very much does. So we have our children's book, and that's kind of the color scheme that that Christiana was working with. Try not to go too far into where that tree lives. Here, around that area. Okay. 198 changes. But I don't think that... Did we do this area over here? We did not do this area yet. So let's do this real quick. Matt would be yelling at me for not saving. Totally within his rights. Alright, we came a long way. This was a pretty barren map to begin with. Let's do a save real quick. And what we're going to end up doing after this is maybe I'll try and test out a couple of Luma bugs and things like that. And then we're not going to wrap up this map today. I'll try and do maybe some of it on stream tomorrow or off stream on Thursday and Friday. And instead what we'll do is maybe do a little bit of Luma bug stuff and then go back to another map or check out a new map or just look at what's on the horizon, those sort of things. So typically what I'm doing when I'm doing like lightning bugs and stuff like that is I'm using just those core lights or the effects lights. There's not too many bugs that we can kind of use. We've got like the dragonflies and we've got the butterflies. We do have rainbow flutters in the Tellest universe, but not Luma bugs that you can find here in the system. So, and we're not going to use geese either. So let's do those lights again. We're going to go to light. We're going to go to the effects lights because I feel like they're a little bit more vibrant. So let's throw one of those down real quick. I'm going to shrink it down as well. And let's bump up the brightness. So it kind of concentrates the smaller that you have it. And they're going to be all different colors. So let's try and see if we can bring it down even further. And let's see if we bump up the contrast, it kind of pops a little bit. Saturation's not necessary. We'll just try with that real quick. So we're going to throw a couple of Luma bugs around here. And every time we do it, we're going to kind of play with the hue a little bit because they do show up in all different colors. Let's do kind of like clusters of them instead of just one or two where they are. Because they are going to typically go looking for these bursters. I feel like we're missing some colors here. I'm not getting the full RGB. Tell you what, let's do the other one as well. So we'll grab the one from the core. Let's go down here. We're still going to make it bright. Maybe not that bright. Throw up the contrast and mess with the hue a little bit. I'm not really getting too much by way of other colors. Just a couple. Let's try. We're going to try some different blend modes and see what we get. Perhaps normal is not the way to go. Let's try that real quick. Nah, not really. Too pink. Well, it's kind of the right way that I want it to be. But I feel like I can't get it quite bright enough. Let's keep on playing around and see if we get anything else that works for us. There we go. Got like a nice purple. There we go. Different than that one down there that we have. Barely going to be able to see these things, but that's all right. Let's grab one more of these little light blue ones. Throw that over there. Alrighty. Yeah, let's save for now. We're going to go to a different map. I don't want to spend too much time like figuring things out. Why is it that when you know I'm going to save, you take forever? Alright, so let's take a real quick look at what's on the agenda. So we've got Folly's Glen. Remember, we started off and this was just these two trees and a bunch of dotted lines. So we did a nice little bit of work on here. Coming up, we've got 5th maps in the series for the mountain ascent, the mountain zone. So we're going to be kind of moving this down. We've got the 5th map in the jungle zone, so we're going to be extending this island down, all the water and everything like that. I don't know what our points of interest are going to be on either of those maps yet. And Rihanna wants me to stretch, and look, Rihanna, you can actually see me doing it, because I got the camera on. Yeah. Oh, that's good, actually. That's good. Actually, big time stretch. I believe you. So we are going to be doing work on the 3rd map in the Savannah set. I figured what we would do in this case is we have all this like tall grass all over the place in this zone, and I felt like it would be a little bit of fun to have this big tree that people could kind of camp under. So we would have just shorter grass, maybe some bushes surrounding this area. It would make for a nice camp. Still need to figure out what my other points of interest are going to be for that map, but at least we have some idea. Let's see. This is going to be... I needed to do a volcanic region. I haven't done anything volcanic yet. And we have a spot in the Tellest universe called the Furnace, which is just to the northwest of... Well, not just, but somewhat to the northwest of Adelatha, which is like our main hub. And I've seen some people do kind of like this... these set of cliffs for like a rock bridge. Right now I kind of have it set apart like this. I might bring them a little closer to make it look like it's an unstable bridge or something like that. What I'm going to try and do is kind of blend these colors into this path and then use like the cracked brush tool, things like that. And I think the trick of this area is it seems very inhospitable, and we're going to have some kind of town further down. We've seen the southern side of the furnace, but not the northern side, so that should be fun. We're going to be doing some farmland. We're like 92 maps in, and I still haven't done a farm. I haven't done a single plot of, farmland or anything like that. So you can see I've been testing with some different wall types for these 4 farms that are kind of meeting. This poor guy down here is the only one who doesn't have a fence. He might have some kind of like natural rocks or something that he puts together. So we'll be doing that, and then eventually you can see that I marked where things are going to be. There's going to be a river down here. This guy's going to have a windmill up there. And then let's get back to our Forgotten Keep. So we'll do that as our closing map of the evening. I think we're mostly good as far as all these chambers. Right? We've got... I made a note for myself to do some metal scraps. So let's do some metal scraps in that room. This is going to be the discard pile for the blacksmith. So we've got... I wonder if we can do these metal spikes without them looking too weird. Put a couple of them there. And I know that in the... Is it tools, maybe? There's something in the steampunk set that we've used actually in the Forgotten Keep already. It's not trains, I don't think. We've got some broken cogwheels and the pile of tools. So I think what we'll do is we'll throw this pile of tools down and grab some more spikes. Let's see, I just want to make sure that I'm not doing the same thing twice. Be able to see the spikes a little better there, and let's also grab, while we're here, some of these broken cogwheels and stuff like that. We'll throw these back here. And the reason for all this is to kind of insinuate that this dwarf is putting together some weird stuff. Let's do some scraps of paper in here as well. Let's see, we've got loose paper. Give him a Pepe Sylvia kind of feel. Everybody in this place has gone a little bit mad. Rihanna says, at some point do a hellish landscape like in Centralia. Yep, we got the place in Pennsylvania that's just completely nuts because it's been on fire for years, and they say it's going to burn for 250 more. All right, so at this point, as far as the base map goes, I think that we're good, and we didn't get to do this last time. So let's do... Huzzah, Ariana says. I had to wait until my my microphone came back. While it's saving, if you are finding this video later, don't forget to come over to Twitch and hit that follow button. As we get higher in numbers as far as Twitch goes, we'll be able to unlock some pretty cool stuff in the Tabletop Thursdays that we're doing. The next set will allow you to kind of play Hunger Games with us when we're playing our celebrity games, or any game for that matter. Your favorite player, you can give them mana to spend on chambers and ultimate spells and stuff like that. All right, so we are done with the basic map here, but let's do some variants real quick. Let's do a trapdoor. Of course, before I export all this stuff, I would get rid of the words and things like that. We're going to make it so that this room up here has a trapdoor that leads to the basement. So we know that there's going to be 3 floors. There wasn't originally. When we did this for my campaign, we just had the second floor that you would walk up to. But 3 is such a nice number for drive-through RPG that I started doing something where if I'm going to have a second floor, I might as well do a third floor somewhere. So let's do a trapdoor real quick. We'll give the players a second way to get down there. So that's a broken trapdoor. We should still have another trapdoor here. And the only problem with this trapdoor, I feel like, is it looks like it's hinging upward instead of downward, and I kind of want it the other way. But I don't think that they all look like they're hinged a little bit upward. I could just be reading it wrong. Alright, so we're going to make it so that the trapdoor drops these poor suckers in right as they're about to get to the chest. So we'll have that there. Unfortunately, that's just one tiny little change, and then we're going to go to the next bit. One big save for 2 little changes. And then I figure what we'll do is add a couple of rooms. We'll do a secret passage that ends with 2 more rooms over here. So let's do... This is going to be so obnoxious. Secret rooms. We always try to do at least 2 variants. The one is not really a lot right now at all. But the secret rooms, they'll be nice. So I'll probably do something extra on top of these 2, just because that one is so quick and easy. I don't know what they'll be yet, but we do know that the second floor should have some cracks and stuff, so maybe we'll add some cracks to the first floor, and maybe we'll accentuate them a little bit up higher. I just realized that these pieces kind of don't stop where they're supposed to, and I feel like that's an accident. What is going on here? I wonder if I accidentally zoomed it in or something. Something funky happened. Whatever, we should be okay. Alright, that looks good. I don't know what happened, but we fixed it. I'll have to save the other ones. Yeah. Alright, let's do... We're still in the secret passage one. Let's get rid of all these words. We don't really need them anymore. Alright, so what we're going to do is get back in here, edit the nodes, make a portal. Let's do snap to grid so it's a nice shape right there. And let's do the paintbrush tool, and we're going to use just like a middle lightness. Do a 5x6. and let's have it be right up to about there. Actually, you know what? It might be a little bit fun to do something like that. So we're going to go with the slightly darker one there. And the reason that I'm thinking that is maybe we can do something where when the players are in the airlock puzzle and someone comes over here, if the game master really wants to, they could do something where like they hear something beyond this wall. So let's grab the path tool one more time, and we're going to go and grab this stuff. There. Let's grab a door real quick. Flip that around so it opens that way. And I don't want to snap that to the grid anymore. Let's do, instead of a door here, let's do another path, and let's snap to the grid one more time. We'll do that real quick, and then we're just going to rotate that. And that's how you get into that room. All right, so we want some kind of noise, so let's try and do, I'm thinking of something with like a hammery kind of percussion sound. But I don't know that they have anything quite like that. I've got a stake hammer that's not quite going to do what I want it to, I don't think. I'm trying to see if inspiration strikes. It might be an off-stream kind of thing, since we are at the 45-minute mark. I'll tell you what, I got an idea. Little mini boss. So let's see if I can pull this off. He's got the sword there. Let's change that sword if we can. Lock you down. Grab the hammer. And we're going to transform this. We're going to mess with the height. Nope. Looks real corny. I wonder if I can have it that way instead. No, just doesn't quite do it. I think the armor golem is the problem. It really shouldn't be like that. Let's, I'm going to ruminate on that a little bit. We're going to figure out what to do with that later. Let's do a save real quick, and let's go over to our show closing page. So, folks, on the screen right now, you should see all the places that you can find Tellest out there on the internet. Tellest.com is a great place to start. That'll usually lead you to our other things that we're working on. Patreon.com/Tellest is a great place to find digital goods that you can get. Our premium stuff is on there. We have something like 92 maps on there now, including or not including the 260 variants or whatever that we have. And we also do art posts on Tuesdays and Thursdays. If you want to get physical premium goods, you can go to tellest.etsy.com. Our maps are on there as well in like 20 by 40 beautiful polyester pads that look great. We had people yelling at us at the convention about how they wanted more. Rihanna says obligatory chocolate milk inquiry, obligatory affirmative request. However, no, not really. Anyway, we got a bunch of other stuff on Etsy as well. Our tabletop game Quantum Quest, our posters and stickers and bookmarks and stuff like that. And we've also got Rihanna's beautiful Weird Witch Wands, which you can see more of at tiktok.com/@weirdwitchwands. If you want to see our doggies, you can find them at tiktok.com/@talesofTellest. Luna was sniffing around up here earlier. She's sad that she didn't get to be a co-host, but you can see her in all her glory on that TikTok channel. The last two places that'll bring your attention to are the YouTube channel, youtube.com/@worldoftellest, which is where you'll be able to find these videos after they've served their time on Twitch. But twitch.tv/thattellestguy is the only place to see us live and chat with us and use your quest coins and things like that. And we're going to have that new feature, which is the Tabletop Thursdays every other Thursday. And then I think outside of that, we're also going to be doing That's Entertainment stuff on Thursdays and possibly Fridays as well, because I need to stream games. I want to be a variety streamer and not just do Tellest stuff. And there's a lot of good games coming out. We just had the cool Xbox showcase. PlayStation's was right before that, and I think Nintendo's is going to be next week. So we should have a lot of fun stuff coming up, and I'd like to spend my time with everybody here. So I appreciate you dropping by. It was a fun time playing with these maps, and we'll do a little bit more tomorrow at 7 when we're ready to do making maps again. So I miss you.